So Maastricht University. Before we start, I will play you a video from one of our students.
Let me tell you something about our journey.
Damos la bienvenida a gente que viene desde muy lejos.
En iyi uluslararası üniversitelerden birinde
eğitim almak. ללמוד את הדעות שאני משופלבי, דבי, צמבי, דמגוברבי.
ללמוד, להתפתח ולהתקדם.
We willen de mensen ontmoeten die de wereld van morgen inspireren.
Którzy pozostają wierni sobie.
Des personnes qui dessinent leur propre chemin.
Nós queremos trabalhar com pessoas que compartilhem uma riqueza de conhecimento.
Finde neue Freunde aus aller Welt.
Comporta-te como um cidadão do mundo.
Es Geistlichs und Zinātkārs.
我们的生活并不仅仅是关于学习。
Речь идет обо всем сразу.
En we zullen deze herinneringen ons hele leven met ons meedragen.
Kiosk Kujimine.
We are global.
It's a nice video, isn't it? So we are a European university with a very international outlook. We are the youngest university in the Netherlands, and we are the 6th best young university in the world, and we also the European founder of problem-based learning. Maastricht University is located in a very central part of Europe with more than 100 nationality and more than half of the student population as international. It provides you an opportunity for an international perspective and internship exchange abroad. About the city, it's one of the oldest Dutch city, and a lot of the inhabitants are students. And since it's very close to the to the Belgian and Germany border, then a lot of German and Belgian students are also studying in Maastricht University. It's also easy to go from Maastricht to other like big city in Europe, like Paris, London, Madrid, Rome, Berlin. And this is a picture of the square at Maastricht. Before I start talking about the program, I want to start by talking about problem-based learning, which is a learning method that centers on students, that allows students to really explore their own interests. And we have a small tutorial group. So if you come to Maastricht University, instead of sitting in a lecture and passively listening to your lecturer, we provide you an opportunity to study in small tutorial group where you can have like one-to-one interaction and guidance from your tutor and your lecturer. And you can learn from your classmates' international perspective. And it trains you a lot of soft skills such as presenting, critical thinking, collaborating with fellow students. And since it's a very active way of learning, you retain the knowledge for much longer period of time. There are 3 main 7-step problem-based learning, which is divided into pre-discussion, self-study, and post-discussion. You are presented a problem where you identify the learning goal, learning objective, you brainstorm, and then you go back and try to answer the learning objective. And you come back, present your finding to your tutor and your group, and then you will have feedback. There are 2 variations of problem-based learning, such as project-centered learning and research-based learning. Now I will talk about the programs briefly. So Maastricht University, we don't have like a fixed main campus. However, our faculty buildings are scattered all over the city. The city is a very cozy city. It's not like intimidating, it's not crowded, but it's easily accessible. You can find anything here. And then the city surrounds the river Maas, and then you have Faculty of Art and Social Science, Faculty of Law, School of Business and Economics. We are one of the few School of Business and Economics in the world that have Triple Crown accreditation. We also have the Faculty of Science and Engineering, Neuroscience and Psychology, Health, Medicine and Life Sciences, in which you can take courses there in collaboration with Maastricht City Hospital. We have a wide range of bachelor programs and over 80+ master programs to choose from. We have some selective programs such as the Economics and Business Economic, in which you have to like do an interview, and some program with limited place, which is called numerous fixes. And when you apply to this program, an interview is usually required. So in terms of admission requirement, you need a national diploma similar to Dutch BWO diploma. And additional subject requirement you can find in the university website. You can find the program that you might be interested in, and then each program has different requirements. And we also have application deadlines. Applications are opening soon, October 1st, and the deadline are usually January, March, May, June. In terms of finance, the foundation program is this bachelor that prepare you for direct admission to any program, provided that you pass the foundation program. It's a private program not funded by the government, so it's quite like expensive. However, for bachelor, the fees for non-EU students are around 8,000 to 11,000, and for master it also ranges. And this is the approximate living cost. However, I don't think that anyone can, this is a very generous approximation of the cost, because normally for me personally, I only spend around 800 in total every month. Those students that spend only 700 a month in total in terms of rent, grocery, leisure and sport, for example, this is not 145 at all. Like, I don't think someone will spend that much unless they are living a luxurious student life. For more information, you can join our university website. And if you want a question about scholarship, we also offer scholarship, especially master scholarship. There are a lot you can choose from. You can also go to our open day, and for related question, you can also contact. And thank you for listening. And feel free to ask me if you have any questions.
Question, please. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Feel free to.
I have a question. Did you have what do you call it, the timeline for the PhD program? Because I think the one that you showed starting from January is like for bachelor's and master's degree.
Oh yeah, for PhD program for Dutch law, PhD is like it's like an employment contract. So you can start anytime, as long as when you apply, you can start anytime, as long as they have PhD position available. But it's like looking for a job, and the university will be your employer. They will fund you, they will pay for you. And I think PhD in the Netherlands, they get paid quite generously.
Okay, thank you. So there is no timeline or deadlines for PhD programs. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Moreover, you one advice I would have is you can also go to their LinkedIn page or website and look at the research teams that is going on in the institute. And then you can send them an email saying, hey, are you looking for a PhD in this? Like, I have this to offer. I'm planning to do my research in this topic. And then they might have something to offer you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for your question. I have another question. From do we need to submit the IELTS test score if we graduate from an English-speaking country in previous study? As far as I'm concerned, if it's in Australia, then you don't need to submit the IELTS test score. But if it's not indicated in the website, then maybe you can also send them an email. Another question from Jan: what's the maximum scholarship can one get for an MBA or master in business? So we do offer a lot of scholarship. I'll just send you a link. I remember we have the Holland scholarship and also Orange Tulip scholarship, which can cover different ranges from like partial to full scholarship, where you don't have to pay for anything. And all the scholarships are okay, you can find a link to all scholarship here. How competitive is your MBA program? Thank you for your question. I would say we receive a lot of application every year. So it's also like we take a lot of consideration into really thinking about who would be a good fit for our program. But I encourage you to apply because I think it's a really good program and you should definitely try out. Hi, I love to ask how many international students are accepted in a year. I don't have a specific statistic for this. If you want to know the statistic, then it should be, you should email the admission office of Maastricht University. But I would say we accept a lot of international students because we are a university that focus on an international outlook, because with a problem-based learning, students coming from abroad will have different outlook from local student, and they will learn from each other a lot if we allow more international perspective in the classroom. How's the tuition fee arrangement for a PhD program? Can we negotiate the fee? I'll be starting research with external funding, so I need to get the number ASAP. So for PhD program, you don't have to pay any tuition fee, because when you're doing a PhD, it means that you're also a researcher and you're working for a research institute. For Maastricht University, they will be paying you. I think they will pay you at around 2,750 euro a month. And if you work in the holiday, like summer holiday, you get double the money, which means that you get paid around 14 months of salary a year. So it's quite good. But please double check what I said. This is probably depend on how much taxes you have to pay as well, because everyone has different taxes. But if you're coming from international, I think you have a tax advantage. But double check what I say, because this is what I know from people that did PhD at Maastricht University. From Kenan, you would like to know what is minimal IELTS score requirement for studying biomedical science. We do have a biomedical science program. I need to look at the specific requirement. So if you go to Maastricht University /education/Bachelor Biomedical Science, you can see the admission requirement. And it's a language requirement. Okay, there's a quiz that you can take on this website that tells you what's the minimal IELTS score that you meet, because every program is different and depend on your background as well. Sometimes you don't really meet the IELTS score. From Zan, have a question. Do you require GMAT? Yes, for some of our Master in Business and Economics, we do require GMAT. And for specific requirement of each program, I recommend you to go to our website here for master, and then you can choose which master you like. And the website is very straightforward. They have like clear section in which you can find admission requirement, whether you need GMAT or not, or you can take a quiz in order to know whether you are eligible for admission.
Oh, hello there.
Hi, Java.
Hi. So I have do my own research that I for my master program. So and then I just found that in Maastricht University there is one master program which is called Sustainable Finance and Accounting and Business Information Technology, but I'm not, that those master are fit for me. So currently I'm still learning IELTS to fulfill the requirements. But my question is, for those master programs, how about the student scholarship? Do they offer also? Because I just found that only high potential scholarship for the scholarship. How about the student for sustainable finance or master accounting and information business information technology? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So you're asking whether the scholarships are applicable to the master?
Yes, for student.
Student, okay.
Yeah.
I sent a link of the scholarship, and in the student master program, it said eligible program or master. As long as you are an Indonesian, then the scholarship is applicable to every. I just sent a link in the box chat, and when you scroll down, you can see the student one. So you should definitely apply for the scholarship.
Okay, I'll check it. Thank you.
And Dika have a question. Is there any specific support from to PhD researcher regarding accommodation? As I'm aware, these days finding accommodation to rent is quite a challenge. Thank you for your question. It's indeed a very relevant one, because after COVID, every student come back to study. So there's just like a post-COVID student boom, and indeed the housing supply haven't rise up enough to meet the need for accommodation. So there is one website called maastrichthousing.nl. I just type it in here, where they offer like reliable accommodation, but the website, they run out of places quite quickly. So I suggest that you look early in advance. Also, you can look from Facebook group, and there are a lot of groups on Maastricht, but be aware of scammer, because from the private market, there are some scammer that post fake housing posts, so they want you to send you money. My advice is that to never pay unless you already seen the place, or you already asked someone to go for a house viewing. From the university, they only offer the partnership with Maastricht Housing. So if you're a student, you can stay in one of the Maastricht Housing locations. But anyway, I would recommend to look like really, really early in advance. I just received another question from 12B12. Hi there, I'm interested in the International Business Bachelor Program in I was wondering, could you tell me that offer a good business degree? What kind of ranking they hold? Thank you for your question. So I could talk to you a bit about the School of Business and Economics. We are one of the few business schools in the world that have Triple Crown accreditation. There's only 2 schools in the Netherlands that have that, which is Erasmus, if I remember correctly, which is Erasmus University Rotterdam and Maastricht University School of Business and Economics. And we have like really different specialization. We offer within international business, you can do, I'm pretty sure you can do like finance or emerging market, or you can focus on, you can even like develop into an econometric tracks. And I would say we offer a really great degree because we also have an honor program in which you can participate in external courses. So if you're an international business student, but you're in an honor program, you're an honor student, you can apply to do research project at some research institute, which will prepare you so well for master. And you can take courses at the Faculty of Science and Engineering, being a business student. Moreover, we have a really wide exchange network. Like we have like hundreds of exchange partners all over the world, from in the US, in Asia, in Singapore, in South Africa, in South America, and within Europe as well. If you're at, if I'm not mistaken, as the School of Business and Economics also have exchange partner with University of California or Cornell University. I just remember from what I read, but the exchange partner leads my change every year. So Jajan, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, ask what is Triple Crown accreditation. I have a so Triple Crown accreditation is approximately only 1% of all business schools in the world are Triple Crown accredited. And you can find more information about that here. Okay, so in the Netherlands, also Amsterdam Business School is also Triple Crown accredited. I missed that. So I am not into tech study. My concentration at Maastricht University is data science. Meta asked, I have research from the UM website too. I wonder what does the emerging market specialization means and what does it differ from the major you would take in 3rd year. For this, I don't study that program, so I really need to read the website. And if you have a question, I recommend you to email their contact information for the faculty and bachelor, and they reply very quickly. So I encourage you to ask if you have any question at all. Dika asks, will the UM provide support for visa application for PhD researcher? Yes, we did, and we do, and we have a student service center and visa office in which you can come to them with any visa paper document related question, and they help you get your resident permit, your work permit, and be sure that users look at the website and they are very responsive. Another question, if you come from an international school doing Cambridge A level, do I need to still take an IELTS test? I'm pretty sure that you don't, but I think it'll also depend on the program. But my advice is that you should go to our website, look at education, bachelor or master, bachelor program, and you look at their specific entry requirement for each bachelor program. Alifia asked how much TOEFL ITP score for law master degree. For this, when I did admission, I only took the IELTS, so I don't know about TOEFL, but if you go to the law master degree and there's admission requirement and there's a language requirement, and you can find it there easily. Another question about what do we ask for essay motivation letter. So my advice on essay and motivation letter is, well, firstly, you need to, I would divide it into like sections. Firstly, a brief introduction about yourself. And secondly, why do you choose this master, bachelor, like why you are interested in this program, in this specific specialization. And after you know that, you can and then after you've shown that you're interested in them, you ask why you think you are a good fit for the program and why should they admit you. Like, for example, you offer international perspective, you're like a good student, you're interested, you're passionate about academia and the topic that you apply for. And just stay true to your motivation, and I'm sure that you can write a good motivation letter. Okay, another interesting question. Could you elaborate what it's like to study in Maastricht? So Maastricht is a very cool city. It's like this is my personal point of view, but also a lot of my friends also say that it's like a Hogwarts vibe, because you are surrounded by a lot of medieval architecture, a lot of ruins from the medieval time. You have the churches and you have some castle around, and also you also have a shopping center where you can find all of the brands that give you supplies for every day. Still, some of the center are located in old buildings and they modernize it, so it's an interesting take. And if you want to know what it's like to study in Maastricht, I recommend you to follow our Instagram page, Maastricht University, and you can see that we post a lot of pictures about our city, our student life. And moreover, beside the architecture, I really like the vibe of the city, because everyone here is very friendly, everyone speaks English fluently, and it's a very international city. You will not feel alone if you're an Asian, because I see that there are a lot of races around. It's not like it's not too predominantly white, so it's very international. Everyone is welcome. I see very little discrimination, or like compared to other cities in America or Europe, like very little. Also, if you're into like there are also in the Maastricht, there's the only mountain in the Netherlands, because it's a highest place in the Netherlands. And when you take a bike and you wander a bit, you can go to Belgium very easily, because we are very close to the Belgium. We are near the Belgian border, and you can also go to the river or to some part in Maastricht to swim. So it's really nice. Another question from Yaya is quite complicated for this. If you want to find a research proposal form, I would recommend you send them a reminder email, because now that school is offline, everyone have received like hundreds of emails every day. So it might be that they forgot to answer some of them. So just mark them as important email and then try to answer. Why am I into data science? So I didn't start out doing data science. I started at University College Maastricht, a liberal arts and sciences program in which I'm allowed to explore my own interests and design my own curriculum. So after the first year, I explore like topics in psychology, economics, and some philosophy. And I was so into statistics. That's why I decided to do more statistics and data science. So now I'm taking courses at the Department of Data Science and Knowledge Engineering. And I really like the process of like manipulating data and making predictions. So that's why I'm into data science. And yes, I'm from Vietnam. How active do you think the introduction week or our organization in UM work? I would say it's very fun. Like there's always activity to do in the morning, noon, afternoon, at night. There are festivals, especially now that most people are vaccinated and schools are offline. If you will walk around city, you see a lot of student association, and there are different niches where you can focus on. Like there's also, if you're into like partying, there's also fraternity and sorority, but if you're into like social development, you can join associations such as Amnesty International, UNICEF Student Team Maastricht, United Nations Student Association in Maastricht, Model UN, or if you're also into like business, you can join Enacted, like Sustainable Entrepreneurship or ISEC. Or we also like have bands and sometimes have music festival and just like a lot of activity. The student life here is great, I would say so. And if you're into board games, there's also a board game committee. I noticed that Maastricht is really far from Amsterdam. Does that affect your student entertainment life? For me, I personally don't think that it's affected because even though I'm far from Amsterdam, I'm very close to Brussels. I'm very close to Liège, Luxembourg. I'm very close to Germany. So I can also get like entertainment from outside the Netherlands. And from Maastricht to like the center of the Netherlands is like 2 hours by train. So it's not much of a hassle for me. How did I narrow down my selection? So I applied to several, I applied to the liberal arts and sciences program because those are the honor program in which you can design your own curriculum. And I had quite a broad interest in high school because high school didn't really prepare me to really know what I want to do in life, what I want to focus in. So I applied to the Erasmus University College Twente, and Maastricht, University College Maastricht. And I like University College Maastricht the most since they have the widest course selection and they have the biggest network of exchange partner. We have exchange partnership from University of California, a lot of university, like University College London in the UK, University of Sussex. We have exchange partner from Seoul National University, Singapore Management School, Australian National University, like all over in every continent. So it's really impressed me. And also they gave me a full ride scholarship. So it's not like, it's like the best of all world is in one university. So it's not a difficult decision for me to narrow down my choices to come to Maastricht University. You're also interested in the liberal arts and sciences program at UCM. Do you think there's a similar major route that leads to the international business program? Since you're interested in economics, but also marketing psychology. Perfect, you sound like a very good fit for the liberal arts and sciences program. Because in our program, I know students that did like economics, marketing, and psychology, and they do really well. They can take courses at the school and business economic, courses at the faculty of psychology, and like it's a perfect combination. You're not limited to any choices. You can register for additional courses as well. Yes, I do have chance to take internship when I'm in UCM. So according to the Dutch law, if you're non-EU, you have to apply for work permit if you're working. But if it's an internship, then you don't need any document at all. I'm currently doing an operational analytics intern at a company in Amsterdam. I'm working remotely, and they allow me to, I mostly analyze the data to optimize their operations. And of course I have chance to take internship, but this is a very a case-to-case basis, whether you want to look for one, whether you are you find something that you're interested in, and it's also whether you're lucky enough as well. But also in the program, we also offer applied research internship. We have internship partnership with NATO, with the United Nations University Merit, with a lot of research institute. We also have think tank projects in which it's part of the study program that you can apply for, and it's selective, but it's not too selective. So I would say if your GPA is B+, then you are definitely you have the chance to apply for an internship within UCM. Amelia have a very interesting question. She wants to ask about the challenges that must be anticipated as a student from outside Europe. I have to really think about this. So if I would say, if you should really be fluent in English. There might be some cultural differences between Western culture and Asian culture, assuming you're from Asia. But for me, I didn't really have a lot of issue when I got here because I got a lot of support from my friends. I met the best friend here, and I really like the vibe of the city, and everyone here is so nice. I mean, sometimes you might encounter feeling homesick. You might you might not like the food, but here there's also some supermarket that sell Asian specific food that you can go for. Also, just if you haven't left, if you haven't left home before, it might be a big changes because you're moving cross continent, and the time differences is something that you have to account for as well. You cannot call your family same time difference because they might be sleeping when you want to call them. I think the session is coming to an end. If you had any more questions, please feel free to send us an email. And okay. Here are all of the contact information that I hope you can. I'm sorry I cannot answer everyone's question. Thank you for all of the question, and these are the contact information that you can send us and follow us on social media. I'm happy to answer your other questions through email and also you can visit our open days. But thank you for all of your interest, and have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.